Exactly.
Okay, so hear me out on this one, right? Do you believe if social programs exist, there should be a governing body, like a checks and balance system for it, but it should be constructed of the people of the community that these programs are serving?
Yes.
Does that kind of make sense?
Wait, what?
Yes.
So,
So
okay,
like the
so let's
people
say-
that they're serving, like the person over it is from that demographic. It's from those group of people, right?
Essentially. So like, let's say if because currently we are in Rondo right
Yeah.
now. Let's say
They don't call
the
it that
Section
no
8
more.
housing or any like food stamps, anybody in like say the county that's receiving these assistance programs, the governing body that's checking it, making sure these households are utilizing the money properly, and or the households that the money is just going to in general. The people who are checking that should be made up of the people of that county. Kind of like jury duty. You know, I think like, let's just say if you got called for jury, I'm saying it right?
Yeah, jury duty.
Yeah, jury.
I think if you expand jury duty a little bit further, you'd be called upon to really serve the community that something happened in. Your job would be, hey, instead of going to trial and being a part of that, instead you're gonna, for a week, focus on doing audits. Y'all, welcome back to Chocolate Espresso Podcast. I'm your host, Thomas Neware. What float your fancy and too picky? Yo, let's talk about these social programs real quick, though. I'm gonna ask y'all some controversial conversations. I got some questions. All right, listen to me. Y'all listen to me. Y'all ain't listening. Y'all listen to me. All right, listen. Do you feel like social programs should be funded by the general public, the people, or by the corporations of America?
You know what? Tell our viewers what social programs are.
So like when we talk about housing assistance, when we talk about food stamps, and we're talking about
Yeah, we're talking about y'all.
There is no way you just said that.
crazy. He went there, y'all.
He waits.
I love y'all.
I'm gonna leave it like that.
But you know, stuff like that though. Stuff like that. When we talk about like debt consolidation, any nonprofits, you know, any money that's going towards the people, for the people, should be funded by the people or by the corporations of America.
Oh,
How do you feel? That's first question. Let's start there. Yeah, I got y'all thinking.
Is there a reason we started here? I promise y'all, I did not wake up and choose violence today. It's not me.
Look, this is
There's no reason we started here.
Look, they can't even answer this question. They scared, y'all. They don't know.
This one's just so meaty. Like, it's like you ain't ate for 3 days, and it's like, yeah,
He
7
literally
pound
just threw us
steak.
to the wolves. Like,
7 pound steak right here.
Y'all be doing my research. Come on. I told you, season 3 about to be popping, y'all. Come on.
He's
now.
like, we're asking questions. All right, so
words.
The words gonna form or not?
it's just so many levels. Okay. I think my first question is, do we got it?
No, we got it.
Do we
got
it?
America got the money, whether it be from the people or from the corporations. But the question is, do you want it to be funded by the people, going back to the people, i.e. a social program, or should it be by the
us, right?
should the money that's going for the people or to the people, whatever assistant programs, whatever the case is, it's coming from taxes. Right? Typically, unless it's some sort of donation that's coming from a corporation or whatever individual, typically it's taxes, right? So the question really comes down to, do you want your taxes to continue to funnel to organizations that are utilizing it, or would you rather that tax come from the corporations that we're, I guess, patrons of, or we're employees of?
Right.
That's really what it comes down to.
I mean, I guess now that you put it that way, like, do we want the corporations we work for to fund things? In that way, I think that I probably wouldn't have so much of an issue with it, if I'm being honest.
It was an issue
because. Well,
depending on who you talk to.
Well, here's the thing. Would I rather the CEO of a company that Like would I rather the CEO or not even just the CEO, would I rather the higher ups of a company be hefty pocketed, or can we reduce some of their salaries and make that money go elsewhere,
right,
to assist the public?
So you want to be petty?
You want to be?
I didn't start.
Hey,
I didn't start with petty. Petty started when the job description said X, Y, and Z, and you end up doing A through Z. That's when the pettiness started. The pettiness started when you decided that you were going to pay
just
people.
Such a layered one. I can see this going for episodes.
You decided you were going to pay people just 2 inches above minimum wage and say that was okay for them to sustain their lives. That's where petty started. That's where petty started, was where a person who has 10 plus years of experience is still making what they made when they started out. That's where pettiness started.
Petty I'm certified, but I still make less than a McDonald's worker. That's petty.
Pettiness started was when you require people to have bachelor's degrees, when you require people to have master's degrees for them to scrub floors. Like, that's where pettiness started.
I've seen some wild resumes. That is very petty. That is petty. I get to get 4 years of debt. 4 years of debt for you to tell me, okay, we'll pay you $1 more.
Nah, 4 years of debt just to work at Menards? It's crazy.
To be senior manager at Menards.
Yo, that's crazy. All right. So hear me out though, right? I asked this question because, and she touched a little bit, she touched on it a little bit. Like, is it management's problem to make sure that everybody beneath them is getting paid, or should you go after the corporation to make sure that the company, the people that are making that company any money, is also taken care of, whether it be from them directly
or the system in place,
or from the U.S. government saying, hey, your taxes that we're asking of you is going to go to make sure that the people you're employing is being taken care of instead. If you're going to pay them $15.50, we're going to make sure you pay the taxes to make sure that they can, get housing subsidies or whatever. Does that kind of make sense?
Right.
Yes.
Right.
So, I mean, like, I would.
So, yes.
Because, like, the whole point is, isn't that the conversation now, is like, we would like to do a lot of stuff for ourselves? Like, if we could. Like,
we would.
Like, if we could, like, we actually would. Now, don't get me wrong, I know some people who won't. But, our conversation now is like, if I could just afford to pay my bills, I would shut up and leave y'all alone.
Like, you can afford eggs.
Bro,
and you can afford eggs and gas in the same day? Crazy.
I thought my people were picking on me when I first saw, y'all must think I'm broke. Like, I thought people were picking on me when I heard about the egg thing. So I went and looked for eggs. And,
It's not just you.
And I was like, no, it's eggs, y'all. Like, I grew up on eggs. Like, it's not that bad.
What kind of Twilight episode is this? I'm living in for eggs to be this expensive.
And then I went to the grocery store. I'm looking at the eggs and I'm like,
$8 for 6.
Bro.
Not 12.
Bro.
It's like $30 for 12 eggs.
A dozen eggs is just a couple dollars short of a Netflix subscription. That's
telling
you. You know what, Tanisha? That's when they were petty. They were petty. They're petty at the food. We didn't even.
Our parents, or not even our parents, our grandparents used to be like, well, back in my day,
back in our day.
Take me back.
Take me back there.
So I can buy my groceries for under $20.
My father sent me this Instagram. Oh, that's so crazy. I'm gonna see if I can find it, but I'll still talk. My father sent me this Instagram where it was a freezer and fridge that was full for $57.32. It was packed full. And he was like, this was just a few short years ago.
Like what, 12 years ago? Because after COVID, $100 ain't get you nothing.
Nah, yeah.
But it was $57.
Yeah. $57.
I'm gonna see if I can find a video.
Refrigerator of groceries.
It was a fridge, freezer and fridge full.
Groceries right now, and I don't even have like a full family. Like, I have me, love of my life, and a kid that I don't pay for, and it's like $300 a month. Let me see.
Yeah.
That was $55.
Oh, what I wish y'all could
see this.
I wish y'all could see this. Like that right there. That right there.
We gotta move it closer. Well, I can do it.
Like, it's packed, by the way. Like,
no, it's packed.
It's a full fridge.
It's a full. They got everything. They got Blue Bonnet butter. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
Blue Bonnet butter. That's name brand. They got name brand food in here, y'all, for $55.
Crazy.
Right. Not even like, store bought.
You know what's funny? They did an interview with the owner of Dollar Tree.
There's Daisy and Miracle Whip in here.
I would love to see if they asked him how much is a carton of milk.
No, like they did an interview with him, and they were asking why he didn't raise his prices that much. Like, he went from $1 to $1.25, and by the way, we did yell at you about that. But anyway, but like, he went from just 25 cents, and he's like, and they asked him like, why don't you did? He's like, because they don't have to raise prices as hard as they raise them. Like, they get the slightest inconvenience and they triple the price of something. He's like, COVID happened and I raised about 25 cents and we're still meeting metrics. I'm still a billionaire, still getting more billions. Like, why do I need to be greedy? Like, and when he said
pretend that it's greed.
Right?
It's greed.
Because they're telling us like, oh, it's so hard, but like,
they don't know what that is.
But like, $3 per item, when you sell the item for $3 and you only take a third of that and became a billionaire, like, don't tell me you need $3 more now to break even. Like, I'm not buying that.
I got a question for y'all. Getting back on topic. Do you feel like corporations have a responsibility to, if they're not going to pay their employees enough to survive, should they give out handouts like pamphlets, websites, whatever, to the employees where they can go to get assistance?
No, I feel like that would be a slap in the face.
Here's the
slap
thing.
in the face hard.
Here's the thing.
I'm not going to pay you enough to survive, but here's where you can go and get help.
Right.
Huh?
No, so now.
Actually, here's my resignation.
That is so disrespectful.
Because what are you talking about?
I agree.
You are just waiting for people to resign.
I agree. She's spitting facts. She's telling
Here's
y'all
my
the truth.
resignation, and it's not a week or 2 weeks. No,
It's now.
I'm
Gone.
not going to be here tomorrow.
Well, I'm out of here
Prepare
tomorrow.
the others. Like, what are you talking about?
Like that it's like,
I'm not gonna pay you
what did they say?
enough. That's like businesses who put a sign up on a thing that says we allow tips. You can tip our workers.
Yes.
Or
Yes.
please make sure you leave a 20% tip for your waitress.
Yes.
Are you serious? Pay them more.
Yes. What's that old saying? Like, you never ask the slave master to be free or something like that? Like
don't bite the hand that's feeding you.
Like, it's like,
that's
that is very
That's
disrespectful.
actually very disrespectful.
So now
Not the question,
I understand. Now I understand the nonprofit side of things and like what nonprofits do. Like in order for them to get funding and all this stuff, like, they go through mountains and high waters they're begging for support from the government, who, by the way, is telling you they wrote all these billions to support all these nonprofits and things that are helping communities throughout the year. And they're begging for like 10K grants for the year to work on disabled children. And like, you know what I'm saying? So like, they're not getting the money either. So for you to sit there and tell me, go ask the nonprofit, who most likely the person who's doing this is more so as a hobby because they need their own job, because nonprofits don't get nothing really. So like, I go ask them, it's like going asking your neighbor who's also struggling with you, like, hey, yo, can I get $100 to pay my bills? You know what I'm saying? Like that, like, I'm asking, no, y'all got it.
Okay.
And y'all been had it.
Another question for you. So because season 3 is about the Black community.
Oh yeah.
So I gotta ask you. I'm gonna bring out some stereotypes real quick, and it's a personal feeling on the matter. When you go to certain companies, like publicly accessible companies like Walmart, Target, Cubs, clothing stores, malls, when you see predominantly minority employees, do you automatically assume they're most likely getting some form of assistance, or do you think that this company or the homes that this employee is living in isn't utilizing any assistance?
No, I do. I definitely wholeheartedly believe that they are on public assistance.
I
wholeheartedly know that they are on public assistance.
Actually, if I walk in and I see a bunch of minorities as their roster of employment, I immediately assume that they're getting underpaid.
And I immediately know that whoever is at the top is like their pockets are heavy. They are driving what they're driving. Like, I know for a fact that these people here aren't making enough money so that they can.
That's crazy.
I know it.
And actually, I have an unpopular belief that if a company asks you for full time, like 35 hours or more, if they say like that is your like requirement, like even if we send you home, whatever, it's like you are dedicating this is a full-time job, you show up to work on time, whatever. If they are demanding that from you on a weekly basis, every needs should be paid with ease. I won't say that they should finance your yacht trips. I won't say they should finance your trips to Africa. I'm not saying that. But I should not have any late rent payments ever.
Okay.
I'm a firm believer of that. If you are a working class full-time citizen, you should not ever have a problem with paying your utilities, food, and rent.
I got another question for y'all. Back to the assistant programs or public programs or whatever. Do you feel like there's too many available programs that you are aware of? If you don't know, say you don't know.
You said what was your question again?
Programs?
Too many social programs that exist. Do you think there's too many of them? Or you can say, hey, I don't know about any of the programs. I don't know if there's too many or not.
I don't know about any of them. I know that there's a lot. I just don't know.
So I actually have a bias on this one. I do believe there's actually too many because they're not doing the job properly for each one.
I agree.
Like there would be less if the need was being met.
Because then you wouldn't need
10 Latino inclusive nonprofits. Because there'd be just 2 or 3 of them that are all working together to make sure they
functioning
serve.
really, really well.
But you can't money launder if there's not more than 3.
Exactly. No, let's not even talk about the money laundering.
Okay. So do you feel like when it comes to minority groups utilizing social programs, do you think if it was being exploited more than ever, it would be more regulated?
Do I think if it was being exploited, like money laundering and stuff like that?
If minority groups were the predominant users of social programs, these social programs would be regulated. Like they say that they are. Like they say that they are, but they're not.
Right.
But if they were, let's say, do you think these programs would be more regulated?
Oh yeah, definitely, because they got to make sure everybody's getting the meal. You know what I'm saying?
The only reason why they're not regulated because they don't want you to know that they aren't the people who are utilizing it the most.
No, there was the one NFL coach. He got into some type of like affair, scandal, or whatever. Got removed as being a coach, and then they started checking his stuff, and he got a payout. Talking about he was a provider of services, like some like to the youth or whatever, and it was to build some like rec center, like it was supposed to be state of the art. Like we're talking millions. This stuff was going to be like Alliance Field quality, better than what we have. And he like built like a basketball court for like $50K and then pocketed the rest of it.
Hey, now you got to pay the employees and all the contractors, and then things fell through, but already paid out, and we all got our money and dip.
This is not a person in need. Like he was an NFL coach. He was already
need that money. What you mean? Like you're always a person in need.
And it's like, so that stuff goes on all the time. But if we were actually getting it, they'd be like, oh, hold on. Pump the brakes real quick. Let's, we gotta, like we said 50.
Well, the thing is, you don't track where the money goes. If you track where the money goes, then people get in trouble.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, so hear me out on this one, right? Do you believe if social programs exist, there should be a governing body, like a checks and balance system for it, but it should be constructed of the people of the community that these programs are serving.
Yes.
Does that kind of make sense?
Wait, what?
Yes. So like the people that they're serving, like the person over it is from that demographic. It's from those group of people, right?
Essentially. So like, let's say because currently we are in Rondo right now. Let's say the Section 8 housing or any like food stamps, anybody in like say the county that's receiving these assistance programs, the governing body that's checking it, making sure these households are utilizing the money properly, and or the households that the money is just going to in general. The people who are checking that should be made up of the people of that county. Kind of like jury duty. You know, I think like, let's just say if you got called for jury, I'm saying it right?
Yeah, jury duty.
Yeah, jury.
I think if you expand jury duty a little bit further, you'd be called upon to really serve the community that something happened in. Your job would be, hey, instead of going to trial and being a part of that, instead you're gonna for a week focus on doing audits.
I think having people who want to do that do it, then yes.
Yeah.
People don't like jury duty. Well, I got to take off work to.
No,
for real. Everybody who does get jury duty is like, no, leave me alone. I don't want to do nothing.
I think people would love it. I think they would love peeking into other people's lives and being like, yeah, nah, run that money back. Right. Look at that. Why you got a brand new car? And
people who mind their business, no.
Yeah,
but the thing is, I think there's a lot more nosy people. Like when people don't have problems, they get nosy. They like to be in other people's business. Like, I'm just going to say this. The apartment across the hall, mind your business. Okay? But anyway, people do like to be nosy. People do. I would say it should be made up of predominantly members of the community. It'd be okay if you had like an actual federal employee, like, there as well to also confirm and sign off, like a back audit type thing. Be like, yep, I was there. Yep. These are the photos I took and the proof I have of what my personal audit, and it lined up with what they said. Cool. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna be honest, there's a lot. Some of our groups, they're doing anything to get by, and and if they were given that power to have access and control over other people, I don't want it to get abused. You know what I'm saying?
I got a real question for you. This is solely personal, right? And when they give their personal opinion, I don't want people to feel like they should feel some sort of way about it. But it's a genuine question.
Or you could.
Okay, hear me out. I will tell you, during COVID, I was driving through public housing, the Public Housing Authority lots. If you Google Mount Erie in St. Paul, Minnesota, you'll know exactly what I mean.
Because there's a few of them.
Yeah, there's a few.
I don't know what he means, guys.
Anyway, it's like low. You got to be like broke. Or really like you got a family but can't afford it, and typically the people living there are minorities that just came, like refugees and stuff like that. Anyway, I'm driving through this community where typically like the literal rent could be like $100 a month, like cheap. I'm in this community and I saw a brand new Porsche. I could lie. Maybe it was a year or two old. This is like 2020.
Hold on.
I just want you to know these houses are literally for people who cannot afford to, like, they can't live. They would be homeless otherwise. There's a Porsche. There's an almost brand new Porsche.
No, you know what? I do believe you because I've seen a Tesla.
They have Teslas.
I've seen a Tesla.
They've had brand new Forerunners. They've had they have cars that are worth more than $40K sitting in their lots. Now, could you say, oh, they're leasing it? Okay, well, have you looked at the billboards? Lease starting at $600.
Right.
Your car is worth more than the rent you're paying. I just want to like.
No. But yeah.
Thanks for watching Talking Espresso podcast. This is going to be a long one, so look out for part 2. Peace.